cryptocurrency scene, and it was set up to be an alternative to Bitcoin specifically for payments.
People keep asking the same question, again and again. If XRP is so revolutionary, why hasn't the price exploded? It's a fair question, especially when your feed is filled with coin after coin launching into orbit. You see meme coins with no roadmap, no team, no real-world use case, pumping 1,000% overnight. You see influencers flexing 10-figure portfolio screenshots, claiming they just knew it would moon. You see projects that popped up yesterday already passing multi-million-dollar market caps off of nothing but hype and community memes. And then you look at XRP, a project that's been in the crypto space since before most people even knew what a blockchain was. A coin that has survived one of the longest and most aggressive legal battles in crypto history. A protocol that has been tested, adopted, and integrated with real banks, cross-border payment corridors, and enterprise systems around the world. And yet, the price? Flat, sideways, stagnant, boring. While the rest of the market rides emotional roller coasters and dopamine pumps, XRP looks like it's sitting still. And you start to wonder, did I get in too late? Did I fall for the wrong narrative? Is this just another overhyped project destined to fade away? But here's what almost no one is saying, and what even fewer understand. The price isn't broken. XRP hasn't been forgotten. This is not an accident. This is a different game entirely. Because XRP was never built for a hype cycle. It was never about getting influencers rich overnight. It was never chasing virality or vibes. XRP was built to be infrastructure. It's a protocol that's positioning itself to underpin the next generation of global finance. We're talking about the back-end rails of real-time payments, CBDCs, remittances, and liquidity corridors that governments and banks will rely on, not just individuals speculating for a 10x. That kind of shift doesn't come with fireworks. Comes with silence. Comes with NDAs. It comes with years of slow-building partnerships, quiet integrations, and policy negotiations behind closed doors. It's the type of value that creeps in slowly until one day it doesn't. One day everything's priced in. One day the flip switches. One day the market wakes up, and it's too late. So what's really going on? While retail chases the next coin to moon, institutions are accumulating in the shadows. While you see red candles and boredom, the foundation for something permanent is being laid. The price hasn't moved because it's not meant to yet. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is. If you're tired of being manipulated by pump and dump cycles, if you're sick of playing a game where the rules are written by those who already won, then this is your wake-up call. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what's really going on with XRP. Not the hype, not the price action, the deeper layer, the strategic plays, the global shifts that nobody's talking about, but everyone will soon have to acknowledge. Because the real question isn't, why hasn't XRP exploded yet? It's, will you be positioned when it finally does? Stay tuned, because the silence won't last forever. This is the real reason the XRP price hasn't moved yet. Part 1. The frustration. People keep asking the same question again and again. If XRP is so revolutionary, why hasn't the price exploded? It's a valid question. One that haunts nearly every investor who's held XRP through the highs, the lows, and the long, dragging sideways movement. You open your Twitter feed or scroll through Reddit, and what do you see? Meme coins born yesterday suddenly doing 10x overnight. Projects with no roadmap, no utility, no vision, just vibes and viral marketing, skyrocketing to multi-million-dollar market caps. Influencers posting their gains, bragging about flipping small bags into luxury watches and supercars. New meta tokens grabbing headlines for their explosive volatility, pulling in thousands of eager, FOMO-driven buyers. Meanwhile, XRP, one of the oldest, most battle-tested, most integrated digital assets on the planet, sits there. Flat, silent, forgotten, and it's maddening. You start to doubt yourself. Am I missing something? Is XRP even relevant anymore? Why does it feel like the entire market has moved on? While I'm still here holding this coin, you're not alone. That feeling of confusion, frustration, even regret is widespread. And it's real. But here's the uncomfortable truth that very few are willing to say out loud. XRP's price isn't broken. The market isn't ignoring it. The game is just operating on a completely different level now. This isn't 2017 anymore. It's not about who can drop the most hype in a Telegram channel. It's not about which token has the flashiest website or the most viral meme. XRP isn't built for that kind of showmanship. It was never meant to ride on hype. Because XRP isn't designed to be a speculative play. It's designed to be a backbone, a foundational layer, a protocol that plugs directly into the plumbing of the global financial system. And you don't flip the global financial system with one viral tweet. That's why the price hasn't exploded yet. But what if that silence, that long, painful stillness, isn't the end? What if it's the beginning? Keep watching, because once you understand what's happening beneath the surface, you'll never look at the XRP chart the same way again. The suppression game. Let's get into the real reason the price of XRP hasn't moved like everyone expected. It's not because there's no demand. It's not because there's no utility. And it's definitely not because the fundamentals are weak. No, it's because the game is being rigged. And if you don't understand how, you'll fall into the same trap over and over again. See, the crypto market isn't as free as it pretends to be. Sure, there's volatility. Sure, prices move fast. But that doesn't mean the playing field is fair, especially not for XRP. Because while you and I are sitting here refreshing charts and checking news headlines, institutional players are executing a strategy. A long game. They don't buy when the headlines are bullish. They don't buy when XRP is trending. They buy when you're bored. Frustrated, ready to sell. Let's break this down. 1. Price suppression is a strategy, not an accident. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is how the game works. The best time to accumulate an asset is not when it's mooning. It's when it's undervalued, underappreciated, and unloved. And how do you get people to give up on an asset? You suppress the price. You create negative sentiment. You drag out lawsuits. You stall listings. You remove it from major platforms. You bury its narrative under a pile of hype coins and distractions. All of this reduces public interest, creates boredom, and drains confidence, especially from retail investors. The goal? Shake you out of your position, make you sell what they want to buy. 2. The SEC lawsuit was more than just legal pressure. Let's be honest. The SEC versus Ripple lawsuit wasn't just a legal battle, it was a financial muzzle. When XRP was labeled a security in late 2020, exchanges began delisting it left and right. Liquidity dried up. Retail access was cut off. The news scared people. Volume tanked. But guess what didn't stop? Partnerships, infrastructure, real-world use cases. Ripple continued building. Banks continued testing. Cross-border corridors kept expanding. Developers kept integrating XRP ledger features. The public narrative was frozen, but the actual development never paused. This is price suppression in full effect. Public perception down. Institutional activity up. 3. Who benefits from a suppressed XRP? Ask yourself, who gains the most from XRP staying cheap? Not you. Not average retail traders. Not the public. But institutions? Central banks? Private liquidity providers? Absolutely. These are entities that don't want to buy XRP at $5 or $10. They want it at 50 cents. Or less. So while you're wondering if XRP is dead, they're quietly signing NDAs, integrating RippleNet, testing the XRPL for tokenized assets, preparing for regulatory clarity that will let them go public with it. They know what's coming. And when the infrastructure is ready, and the gatekeepers say go, they want to own as much of the supply as possible. Not after the pump. Before it. 4. This isn't a meme coin, it's infrastructure. Here's where most people get it wrong. They expect XRP to behave like a meme coin. Flashy, fast, hype-driven. But XRP isn't that. Never was. Never will be. You're not investing in a story, you're investing in a protocol. A base layer technology designed to move real money across borders. a ledger fast enough and scalable enough to handle the plumbing of the global economy. And guess what? The price of infrastructure doesn't move like hype. It moves when the pieces are finally in place. The reason the price hasn't exploded isn't because XRP is failing. It's because XRP is being prepared. Fire CTA, wake up before it's too late. So, if you've been feeling frustrated, good. That means you're paying attention. But don't let that frustration make you sell out early. The price suppression is part of the play. The silence, it's part of the setup. The boredom is part of the strategy. And those who understand that, who hold strong while the world is distracted, will be the ones holding the bags when the real money finally shows up. Because once this infrastructure goes live, once the rails are built and the rules are clear, XRP doesn't need hype to moon. It will have utility, liquidity, global demand. And when that moment hits, you won't get a second chance to buy in early. Stay sharp, stay patient, and don't fall for the game. This is a setup, not a sell-off. Let's get one thing straight. Suppression doesn't mean failure. It means preparation. It means the big players aren't done eating yet. While retail investors chase whatever coin is trending on Twitter this week, the institutions are sitting quietly, scooping up XRP at bargain bin prices, building infrastructure behind the scenes, and preparing for a financial reset that most people won't recognize until it's already here. They want silence. They want apathy. They want you bored, discouraged, and ready to sell. Because when the switch flips, when the corridors light up, when cross-border settlements move from T+3 to T+instant, when liquidity becomes global and real-time, they want to be the ones holding the asset that powers it all. Not you. Understand this. We're not just talking about another crypto project. XRP is being positioned as the oil in the engine of a brand new financial system. One that isn't built on volatility, speculation, and memes, but on speed, certainty, and trustless global settlement. And right now, the price is being treated like it's just another altcoin. But it's not. This isn't a sell-off. This isn't a flop. It's a setup. The kind you only recognize when it's already too late to catch the bottom. When the flip finally comes, it won't be gradual, it'll be instant. Let's get something straight. The financial system is not designed to alert retail before the shift. It never has been. The big moves, the ones that redefine entire asset classes, don't come with fireworks or countdown timers. They come in silence, quiet, instant. And that's exactly how the XRP flip is going to play out. It won't be a slow climb where you can DCA your way in as you feel more comfortable. It won't be weeks of bullish news or influencers suddenly changing their tone. By the time headlines are positive, the move is already over. This isn't just another crypto cycle. This is a global infrastructure shift. We're talking about an asset that's been stress-tested in courtrooms, dismissed by mainstream media, and suppressed by platforms, yet still remains integrated in corridors across Europe, Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and more. Here's the timeline no one's showing you. First, institutions accumulate in silence. Then, the rails are quietly built behind the scenes. Then, the switch flips. Not because of hype, because the system goes live. The moment you hear a global bank or IMF-aligned entity say, "We're now using on-demand liquidity for cross-border settlements," you won't get a 3-week window to prepare. The liquidity will start flowing instantly. The utility will begin operating in real time. XRP won't just rise in price, it will reprice. Not based on emotions, based on function. Because once it's no longer just a speculative asset, but a core component of financial plumbing, it gets assigned value differently. Not like a stock, not like a meme coin, but like infrastructure priced for what it moves, not what it tweets. And here's the punchline. Most retail investors won't see it coming. They'll be waiting for signals, charts, influencers, rumors. But the real signal was always the silence. So while others stare at a boring chart and walk away out of frustration, those who understand the bigger picture are holding through the noise, for the signal. Because in this game, you don't get rewarded for chasing trends. You get rewarded for spotting transitions before they become obvious. And XRP isn't lagging. It's loading. This is the fork in the road. This isn't just about XRP. It's about what side of history you're going to be on. For years, you've been told to chase green candles, to follow trends, to to wait for the next hype cycle. But this moment is different. The price isn't moving because something bigger is being built, and those with patience, clarity, and conviction will be the ones standing tall when the dust settles. Behind the scenes, the foundation is being laid. Regulatory pieces are aligning. Institutions are moving silently. Infrastructure is being tested without fanfare, without headlines, and definitely without your average retail investor noticing. You're not early by accident. You're here because somewhere deep down you know this isn't a regular play. So now you have a choice. You can walk away, frustrated by the lack of fireworks. Or you can double down and position yourself with the kind of clarity that only comes from understanding the bigger game. Because when it does move, and it won't be gradual. It will be explosive, violent, inevitable. So what are you doing today to be ready for that moment? If this message shook something in you, don't let it fade. Rewatch this, share it, tag someone who needs to wake up, and comment below. Are you watching? Or are you ready? The price isn't the problem. The setup is the story, and the opportunity is still right in front of you, but not for long.